guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video today I wanted to go over my food and what I'm going to be eating for these 12 weeks, or now it's like 10 weeks or something. But I wanted to go over everything that I've been eating just to give you ideas. Again, like I said in my previous video, I'm a creature of habit. So if you don't like eating the same stuff over and over again, don't follow what I do, because I tend to eat the same stuff over and over again. It's just easier that way. It's easier for me. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me the fact that I might have chicken for every meal of every day. I don't do that every day, but sometimes that's all that's available and that's what I eat. I guess to start off, I wanted to go over my macros, and that's basically our protein, our carbs, and our fats. Those are the macros. And as far as my macros, I'm at about 60 grams of carbs, 100 grams of fat, and 120 grams of protein. So I try to hit those. If anything, I might come a little bit over by a few grams here and there, or a little bit under. But overall, my calories are about 1,650. That's actually high for me. But that's low for most people. So I'm used to eating a lot less, which I don't recommend. I'm trying to eat more and slowly get those calories up higher so that I can have more, but I do find it hard to hit those calories because it's hard to get all my meals in one day. Sometimes I skip a meal because of the babies. Hi, bud. You want to come sit? Baby. Okay. So those are my macros. There are calculators on the internet you can find to calculate what your calories should be and what your macros should be. I tend to do a low carb, high protein, high fat diet. That's what I found works for me. Everybody's different. So within those macros, I find foods that can fit, and I fit them into my day. And the thing that I use to track that is MyFitnessPal. It's amazing. It's so easy. Once you get it set up and you get your foods that you normally use dialed in, it's very quick and easy. It'll take you maybe 5 minutes to map out an entire day. So I know the foods I can go towards, and I kind of, either the night before or the morning of, I will figure out what my entire day is going to look like, how many meals I'm gonna have, what carbs, what proteins, fats I'm gonna have for each meal, and I map it out. That way I don't have to do any thinking. I can know exactly what I'm gonna pull. If I'm gonna go out of the city or something, or go do something, I know exactly what I need to pack. So that's probably one of the things that helps me the most, is tracking my food, but planning it out. I may even go to the extent of planning an entire week. That's a little obsessive compulsive. So I think the day before, the morning of is sufficient, but I will weigh everything. I have a scale, I will weigh it, I will log it into MyFitnessPal, and I'll know that, okay, for this meal I need to have 4 ounces of protein. Next meal I can have 3 ounces, so on and so forth. If I ever am off by some calculations, I just adjust the rest of the day. If I tend to be hungrier one morning and I was going to have my carbs towards the later part of the day, then maybe I'll just switch it and I'll just have carbs in the morning and I won't have carbs at night or something like that. So I play with it, but at least I have an idea and I have a basis to start from. Nope, you can't take that. You can take the cat. I don't need you drawing all over the entire house. Weighing and tracking everything is extremely important. Eyeing stuff doesn't really work unless you have been doing weighing and tracking things for a very long time. Then you tend to be pretty good at eyeing how much chicken is 4 ounces. But if you're not familiar with that, I recommend getting a scale and just weighing and tracking it all. And typically on the back of food, even when you go to the store to get chicken, on the package, it's going to tell you the nutritional value. It's going to tell you how many grams is, or how many ounces is for that serving size. And then when you weigh it, you know that, okay, I have these 3 ounces of chicken, that's 120 calories. I don't know if that's really what it is, but I'm just throwing a number out there. So then when you weigh it, you see that you have the 3 ounces and you know exactly what you're eating, instead of maybe saying it's 3 and maybe it's 2 or maybe it's 4, and you end up going over, you go over on everything, and then you end up being 300-400 calories over for the day, which is a workout. So if you didn't work out that day, then that's weight that you're putting on. So weighing and tracking everything is extremely important, and it's very easy. You just gotta, you know, just get started, and then it just becomes routine. Another thing that I do is food prep, and I cook everything in bulk. So I will cook maybe 16 to 20 ounces of chicken at a time, and my husband and I eat the same exact thing. So I'll cook 16 to 20 ounces of chicken. I will cook like 10 drumsticks. I'll cook 16 ounces of beef, and that usually will last us anywhere from 4 to 5 days if we're both eating it. So I just cook a bunch of it, and it makes it real easy to just grab and go. You already have it in there. You don't have to worry about, oh, I'm hungry, I'm supposed to eat in like 10 minutes and I have to cook something. Or the babies are crying, I don't have time to eat. Something's already prepared in the kitchen, in the refrigerator for you. So that's what, I mean, that has helped me so much. And that's why I tend to be a creature of habit and stick to the same foods, is because I prep it all. What? Your hat? You want your hat? Did you hit your head? I'll have to watch this video back and see if you hit her head. Put your hat on. Owie. Cute. Little fox. Very cute. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so creature of habit, because I have those foods already prepared in there. It's just easy to just grab the same foods, and you know, we'll run out of some things quicker than others. But we always have chicken and beef on hand. And now I guess I'll go into all the foods that I eat. And I kind of categorized it into proteins, fats, and carbs, even though some of these, like proteins, still have fats in them, and then carbs and fats, some fats have carbs in them. So it's a little math equation that you kind of have to do and figure out what works. But for my proteins, I'll do things like ground beef, I'll do tri-tip, chicken breast, chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks, eggs, protein powder. My go-to little treat for protein has been salami. I couldn't have it when I was pregnant, and I love salami. So it's really high in fat, which is awesome because I have a really hard time hitting my fats. So it's really high in fat, and it's good. It's processed, but it's not affecting me in a negative way right now. So I have so much to lose that it really doesn't affect me. Maybe if I was way down, really trying to get really low on my body fat percentage, I'd cut out all processed foods, but I don't need to be that picky right now. Fish is not my favorite, so I tend to stay away from fish, but if I were to have fish, it would be salmon. So fats are usually like nuts. My go-tos are pistachios. Peanut butter, I try and get peanut butter that has a really low sugar in it, because most of the peanut butters in the store are going to be high in sugar. The peanut butter I get from Whole Foods only has 2 grams of sugar in it per serving. Cheeses, I do a lot of cheeses. Olive oil, I cook a lot with olive oil as far as with my veggies and with making like the drumsticks whenever I roast or bake something. So I use olive oil, which is great. Avocado, I'm not that big of a fan of avocado. I used to really love it, then I got pregnant, ate it when I was pregnant, can't really have it anymore, but if I really need to get my fats in, I'll stuff it down my throat, basically. I'll just suck it up, take one for the team of the body, and I will eat that avocado. And then butter. So butter's great source of getting fats as well. And I'm all for fats. I have done tons of tests before I was having lots of fats from like cheeses. I think they're called saturated fats, but fats from animals. So cheeses and butters and milks and things like that that are supposed to be bad for you. I've done testing to where before I started having it to after, and my good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, all of it was better than it was before. All my numbers were really good when I started having more fats. Tenley, stop. Give me that. Oh, playing tug of war with a toddler. No more. No, you're gonna hurt someone. Okay. All right, so carbs. Again, some of the fats that I mentioned do have carbs in it, like avocados, pistachios, like nuts, peanut butters. Those are all gonna have carbs in them. Lower on the carbs, but they're still gonna have carbs. So other carbs that I have would be maybe toast, crackers, and again, toast and crackers, like you're not gonna really be able to have very much of it, but it's kind of one of those things that I allow myself to have when I'm struggling, and it's like, oh, this is a treat. So when really it's not, it still fits within my macros, but it makes me feel like I'm having a little bit of a treat. Popcorn, if you get just clean popcorn, not microwavable popcorn, I wouldn't recommend that, but just the popcorn that's already popped in the bag. They have a lot of really great ones out there that are skinny, that just have like a little bit of seasoning on them. Those are really good. It kind of makes you feel like you're eating more because it's a bunch of air, but popcorn's great. Veggies, of course. I tend to stick with the greener veggies. Those are going to be fewer calories and carbs than, let's say, a potato or a sweet potato. But if you can fit a sweet potato into your day, then go for it. There's nothing wrong with having that. I just know that I can't have that, or if I did have that, that's the only carb I would eat that day. So I'd rather be able to have tons of broccoli and asparagus and Brussels sprouts and things like that, and then maybe one piece of toast to make me feel like I'm having dessert. And then salads, those are some other greens. The dressing will usually be carbs and fat. And then my creamer, that's got some carbs in it, but also has fat, so there you go. And I can't live without my creamer, my almond creamer that I talked about in my 2018 favorites. So I make sure to fit that in. I have about 6 grams of it, 60 grams, which ends up equaling, I think, 12 grams of carbs. So that's one of my carbs. And then and oatmeal. Oatmeal's another thing, but that's usually around 30 grams of carbs. So if I'm gonna have oatmeal, it's gonna be one of my only carbs that day. That and maybe some veggies or. Oh, Tenley, you're so funny. All right, so on to drinks that I have. Coffee. Love my coffee. I have to have decaf, so it's not like it really makes me go coffee. But the placebo effect gives me a little bit of energy. Coffee, iced tea, unsweetened. Love iced tea. Water is so good for you. I know I don't have juice. Tenley has juice, but I don't have juice. So we can get you juice in a second. So water, iced tea, coffee, and then every once in a while when I'm really, really wanting something sweet, I will do a Coke Zero caffeine free. You want to get your baba? Okay, let's go get your baba. She's in a beautiful mood today. No kicking. That's not very nice. Do you need to go to timeout? I don't think you want to go to timeout. I think you want to hang out with mommy because mommy's cool. So let's not kick. You're going to spill your milk if you do it like that. Okay? All right, so another thing that I said in my last video is no sugar, and I'm sticking to that. Been doing really well. Obviously, there's still sugar in things, like my creamer has a little bit of sugar in it. It's a very small amount. And peanut butter has a little bit of sugar in it. So I do have a little bit of sugar, but it's not a lot. And I'm not going out and having candy or cookies or soda or anything that actually has sugar that you would really consider sugar. And then just to kind of go over my cheat meals, I think I said I'm not sure if I made a statement about my cheat meals or not, if I was going to not have them or have them every other week, or just, to me a cheat meal is basically eating, you know, whatever you want and eating sugar. So a refeed to me is just having an abundance of what you would already be allowed to have. So this last weekend, which I filmed everything that I ate this last weekend for you to see, I had a refeed, my so-called cheat, and it was just a burger. So it wasn't anything crazy. I didn't end up eating all the bun. I had a little bit of the French fries that were on there, and then I had a biscuit and butter because we went to Lucille's. So I had their biscuit, which, as you know, does have a little bit of sugar on it if you've ever been there. It wasn't crazy. I only ended up going over my daily calories by 1,000. So typically with a refeed day or a cheat day, what I'll do is everything that I eat before my cheat or my big refeed meal will be less. So I may have less carbs, maybe just every meal will just be protein and fats. I still map it out so I know how much I'm going to have during my refeed. So I know how many calories I'm going to go over, and it wasn't that crazy. So it was a really good weekend. I'll show you that right now, everything that I ate this weekend. Here is meal one. I've got sourdough toast with peanut butter on it, and I have my coffee. And what I do with my coffee is I still add the almond creamer to it, and it's actually really low in sugar and it's not that bad in carbs. So I make sure I fit it into my day. And then I also add 2 scoops of this collagen peptides. It's got about 18 grams of protein, and it's supposed to be really good for your hair, skin, and nails. So I've been doing that, and you can't taste it. It's amazing. I got it at Costco. Here is meal number 2. I got myself an Asian chicken salad. I probably will not finish all of it, but it's got a good amount of chicken on there and lots of yummies. So I forgot to film this earlier, but this is what's left of my food. It was a burger and fries. Sorry guys, next time. Got day 2 meal 1. Like I said, creature of habit. It was so good yesterday, I had to do it again. Peanut butter toast and a coffee with 2 scoops of the collagen peptides. All right, and here is my meal number 2. We got some cheese, salami, and crackers. Yeah, my husband makes fun of me when I eat this. He thinks I eat like a toddler, but I don't know. I love this meal. It's my treat. And here is meal number 3. We got some asparagus and chicken drumsticks. Here is my last meal of the night. Chicken and cheese with some buffalo wing sauce on it and a scoop of peanut butter. It doesn't look pretty, but it does its job. So that's everything I ate this weekend. Saturday, the first day, was my refeed day, so I guess that would kind of give you guys an idea of what my meals look like on a day where I'm going to consume more calories for my refeed. And then Sunday, the next day, was just a normal day. And I do want to mention that the day after a refeed or a cheat, you do tend to be hungrier, so you probably noticed that I had a lot more carbs in the morning. I was starving that entire day, even though I was eating the same amount that I ate the last 2 weeks. I was just hungrier because I had those extra 1,000 calories the night before. So that's, I always find the day after a cheat or a refeed is your toughest day, because that's when you're craving the sugar. That's when you want, you know, the chocolate and the ice cream, at least for me, and you want to eat a whole bag of chips and not just have one, or, you know, so that's usually my toughest day, is the day after a cheat or a refeed. But you got to see some of my meals, and a lot of them were the same. Like, my favorite tends to be peanut butter and toast, so I will try and have that once a day if I can. But if I'm going to have maybe a salad, or oatmeal, maybe I can't have that peanut butter and toast that day. So it all really depends. It's a juggling act and a little jigsaw puzzle that you just gotta fit all the pieces together. But if you got your main staple foods, then you just rotate them through. So I guess I'm gonna show you my belly update, but I also wanna say I did weigh in this week. Even though I don't think my stomach looks that much different than last week, or 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, when I showed you guys my starting belly, I am happy to say that I am down 5% body fat and a little over 3 pounds. So I did that in 2 weeks. Now, again, I'm breastfeeding, so I am burning more calories. So if you don't get results like that, don't, you know, feel bad, because I'm breastfeeding. So I'm burning calories just breastfeeding. But I'm also starting from scratch, basically. So I'm going to have a better result at the beginning than I will for the rest of these weeks, so the rest of the 10 weeks. I will not see a number like that, most likely, again, this entire time. I would be happy if I was losing 0.5% a week, which is my normal. So you can see in 2 weeks I lost 5% when I normally lose 0.5% a week. So you can see that that's a huge, drastic difference, because I'm starting from scratch. I'm basically starting over. So my body's like going, woo! It's going like, whoa, let's burn some fat, because we're not used to this. Now it's gonna be like, oh, we're used to this, let's go back to our normal routine. So I'm just glad that I was able to get that nice jump start, because that kept me motivated, and it's definitely helping me to stay on track, because it's just only gonna get harder, but then it's gonna get easier. And I say that because it's going to get harder to continue to just eat this way and not have the sugar and the things like that. But once I get over that hump, you stop craving it and you stop caring about it, and it just becomes easy. All right, guys, so here is my 2-week belly shot. Actually, a little less than 2 weeks, because I filmed the last one on a Thursday and today's Tuesday. So I guess that, so you can still see I still have the fat around here, and the little pooch is still there. And then still a little bit right here, but it's definitely better. I'm tanner this time, so it's not gonna show a true comparison to last time, but I'm definitely noticing everything fitting a little bit looser, and as far as like my legs and everything, my butt, and yeah, my belly, just getting smaller, slowly but surely. I also wanted to give you an update as far as what these last 2 weeks looked like. So food was good, food was on point. Sometimes I was under by 100, 200 calories here or there, depending on if I was able to get all my meals in. Sometimes I never went over my calories. So calories were good. And then the first week I did a couple yoga workouts when I could fit them in. The second week though, I did start going to the gym. So I was able to go to the gym 3 days that week. Again, I said my goal was 4, but I'd be happy with between 2 and 3. It was, it was nice to be back. It was definitely nice to be back. So that's how my last 2 weeks went. And even though I probably could have done better, I still got really good results. So it's a journey. It's definitely a journey, and I'm glad you guys are joining me on it. I do want to do a video of tips, because I think there's so many out there, and touch on everything to help you and me be successful, things that have worked for me. So I will probably start working on that this week, and hopefully get it to you guys next week. But let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I know this is a lot of information, and I hopefully will be able to help you. If not, I'll ask my husband. He will have an answer. Tenley, we talked about this. Give it to me now, or you're gonna go in timeout. She thinks she's so cute. She is. She's so naughty. This is to keep the window shut so that no one can open the window. It's not just a stick that we keep around. Anyways, yeah, so leave any comments or questions in the comments below. I or my husband will be happy to help you. It's a long process, and there's no quick fix. If there were, everyone would be skinny. It's all about discipline and consistency, and just basically a lot of willpower. But you can do it. You just gotta suck it up. But you can do it. All right, guys. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, because I got a lot more fitness videos coming your way for this 12-week challenge. And I think I have, I think it's now maybe 9.5 weeks left until my vacation. So I've got a good amount of time. I'm not worried.